everybody, it's Rose and
Ryan.
So today we are bringing you all 10 tips for interracial couples. We have 5 tips for interracial couples who just recently started dating outside of their race. And then we also have 5 tips for those single people who are thinking about or considering dating outside their race, although you have not done so yet. So yeah, let's get straight to it.
Yep. Give me a start or you start? Guess I'm starting. Okay, so this is for the interracial couples that just newly got into an interracial relationship, or this is just new to them. So the first tip would be have thick skin, because you're gonna get like judgment from ignorant people and people that are prejudiced. So you're gonna get weird comments,
weird stares.
Yeah, things that make
prolonged stares.
Yeah, just like for forever. But yeah, just things that make you uncomfortable. So,
and not all bad either. It won't be all bad. Sometimes
No.
we get a lot of people who are like, "Oh my God, y'all are so cute!" Like, and that's in person. Like,
yeah,
they'll walk up to you and literally be like, "Oh my God," like But then you get the ones that like most of the time they might not say nothing to you, but they'll be looking at you like, "Ugh," like you literally disgust me. That's literally just because y'all are 2 different colors.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And honestly, mostly you're just gonna experience the bad stuff, probably mostly online. Like you'll probably experience some bad stuff in person sometimes, but the most we ever get is just a stare.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything. But yeah, but we have gotten some interesting comments like on Instagram, like someone called me the Beast. Like,
someone called him the Beast.
And they're like, you're not supposed to marry the Beast or something,
Yeah,
like
crazy
referring to me as like the devil pretty much. But yeah, just have thick skin and know that people, that's their problem. So don't take it, to heart. So
yeah.
Next one.
Number 2 is to be prepared for possible family disapproval. And that's like some people have that problem, some people don't. I would say if you know your family, if you're in a family where people are already dating outside of their race, maybe you have a sister, cousin, aunt, brother, whoever who has a significant other who is outside their race, that doesn't necessarily mean that the treatment will be the same for you either. Because sometimes like you might have mixed race people in your family and they still disapprove of you dating outside your race. So it really just depends on your family, your parents, your surroundings, and who you're brought up around, I think.
Yeah, and it's really not one size fits all, because some people, they'll be totally okay with you dating like a Hispanic girl, and but you date a black woman, a black girl, and they're just like, then they have a problem about it. Right. So you never know. So it's really good to gauge that and, and talk to your family, especially, and get them out of that mindset if you can. But yeah, the third one is get to know your partner's cultural, or culture/heritage. So it's important because, you have to learn about each other, and there are differences. So, and I think it can bring you much closer together and give you, an even increased like respect and, just getting to know their culture and how they do things. Like we both have Native American in our heritage, 2 different tribes, but it's, so we already know that part of each other, but it's good to get to know the other person's culture, because like I said, you're just going to be ignorant if you start saying stuff, like.
And it could be completely different. Like for us, okay, we're both American, but like there are some interracial couples that are completely different nationalities. Like one may be from like Africa, while the other one's from Asia, and they have like they're from completely different countries. Everything's different. Yeah. So sometimes it's like us. We're very similar in some ways, and we grew up in similar ways, while those people, like, it literally everything is different. You have to learn everything. So it's definitely be open-minded as far as cultural differences go.
Yeah. Because with culture, like, they might just do things differently than you, so you get to be like accepting and but plus it's cool just to know about other people's culture. I mean, it brings you closer to that person because it's a part of them. So I think it's important.
All right, number 4 is to consider the obstacles of raising an interracial family, or in other words, raising mixed race kids. And the reason I say obstacles is because, for instance, like a lot of times, like as a Black person, like you may experience what it's like to you may experience like discrimination, for example, or racism, things that like we know Black people experience those things, but like for him, he may have not experienced racism, or maybe he did from opposite, but maybe not to the same extent. And then when we have kids, like our children will still be seen as African American, even though they are both races. And that's something that's important. It literally depends on their look. So if they look more like me, they may experience a lot of that discrimination. While if they look like they're straight up white, they might not experience like any discrimination. And you never know. It really just depends. But you have to consider that, and you have to be completely open to explaining to your children at a young age about those kind of things. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean,
you also have to consider where you live at, like, because that matters too. We live in Texas, a very
conservative, and you know, and it's funny because Texas is like, there's different areas of Texas that aren't really that way, like, you know. So, but we live in North Texas, and like it's definitely like it's pretty racist, more than you would think so, But yeah, it's definitely something to consider, because if you just, especially I would say for like the white parent, because, I grew up with like part of my family being of color, Native American. But here's the thing. I was raised really to be aware of these things, and, that from an early age that racism is a thing. I never really personally experienced it from someone. But I saw my friends, and it's very visual and very easy to see. So it's something that you have to consider when you have a child, because they're going to have to experience that. So, I mean, knowing where you're going to live and things of that nature. So you have to be aware of these things.
Okay, the last one is number 5, communication is key. And that's really for every single relationship out there, not necessarily just interracial couples, but like everybody. Honestly, communication is key, because I've been in relationships where like you don't talk. Like, yes, you might have fun or whatever, but when it comes to like real stuff, or when something's eating away at you, like you literally don't talk about it. And like in our relationship, we talk about everything, literally every single thing. Anything that bothers us, like we talk about those things. Anything that whether it's good or bad, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. We talk about them. And that's like the key to happiness, honestly, in a relationship.
And as it specifically pertains to this, I think it goes back to what we just talked about, is that we've been talking about these things like for continually for like a while. We always talk about these things because we are going to have a family. We have always asked these questions and kind of got to know each other's views on certain things. And so, if you don't communicate and say, hey, this makes me uncomfortable, or how do you feel about this? How do you, because then you won't even know what the other person knows or what they think. So it's really important to be on the same page.
Okay, these next 5 tips are for single people wanting to date outside their race. So the first one is, don't fixate, just be open to that idea. Meaning, don't make it where you're just solely focused on, I want to date. I've got to date a white guy, or I've got to date an Asian guy. I can't date a Black guy, even though I'm Black. Like, it doesn't need to be like that. Just be open to the idea, meaning, if a white guy approaches you, be open to it. If he meets like, what you're looking for, then be open to that. Same goes for other races. So that's kind of what we mean by that.
Yeah, exactly. The next one is be open-minded to cultural differences. And this kind of goes in hand with one of the ones that was on the interracial couples. But it's just like, expect there to be differences. And just be open to them, because if you just think everyone's the same, that's just not the case. So you're not caught off guard and all weird about things. Just be open-minded and expect that. So that's pretty much all that one is just be open-minded.
Yeah. Number 3 is interracial dating aren't for people who just want mixed kids. That's like, I feel like I gotta say that again. Interracial dating is not for those people who want mixed babies, okay? Because I feel like there's a trend out there of like people literally just being like, oh my God, mixed kids. Like, even though they really don't even care about, like, there's some people who don't date outside their race at all. And they're so like focused on mixed babies. And it's like kind of shameful. Like, I don't know why people do stuff like that. Like, why sexualize a child in any sort of way. But that's kind of where that goes. If that's what your focus is, it's really not for you, because you're gonna run into so many obstacles, and it's gonna be a battle, like, in that relationship, things that you have to deal with that you never expected when all you wanted was a mixed baby, to be honest. So again, that it's really not for people who are looking for that, so to say.
And watch out for the people that are trying to look for that.
Yeah,
like,
watch out for people that you gotta pay attention to that, because most of the time people will let you know what they're looking for at the beginning. They might not literally say, "Hey, I just want to make babies," but they will throw little subliminals that you gotta catch on to, little red flags that you gotta pay attention to. So definitely watch out for that. There are people out there that literally just want that.
Exactly. And for the fourth one, I would say that if you're going to be in an interracial relationship, you definitely have to have probably an even stronger foundation than in a regular relationship and just a same race relationship. Because like we stated earlier, there's going to be people poking at you.
They're going to attack your relationship.
They're going to just be mad just because you're in an interracial relationship. And that can come from both sides. It can be of your same race, of the other race, like, it doesn't really matter. So if you don't have a strong foundation and communicate, like we said earlier, and talk about these things and say, hey, like, these are other people's views, not ours, obviously. Like, it doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah, you could really love each other, but if your foundation isn't strong, it can really break you up. It can tear you apart. So
so just make sure you build, like, with each other and really talk consistently about it. So when someone says something, it just slips right off your back and you're just like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, just address them as, okay, obviously they're a hater, and keep it moving, honestly, because like, what are they doing for you anyway? To be honest. Number 5 is the last question, is regardless of race, make sure the person treats you right. So yeah, that's the last tip. Regardless of race, make sure that the person treats you right. And that's important too. And I feel like there are some people who, once again, back to number 1, they do fixate on trying to date somebody other than their race, and like, they'll open themselves up to like people that's below what their standards are, or below what they would averagely go for. Next thing you know, they're dating somebody who doesn't even treat them well just because they're a different race. So yeah, definitely make sure that person still treats you well, woman or man, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that both of you all are happy in the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And just to like kind of put a summary over all this, is like, there's nothing, I mean, being in a relationship is like rewarding in a lot of ways, you know, because you get to, you know, possibly learn a lot about another person's culture and just things, and it really can be really mind-opening. But there's nothing that puts interracial relationships over any type of other relationship. There's nothing, doesn't make you better if you're in a racial relationship. It you know, nothing like that. So don't look at it as such, because I feel like some people actually do look at it as such, and that's why they're trying to go out and find, you know, a person of another race. So just look for someone who treats you right, and if you find someone that treats you right and they're of another race, then go with it. You know, like I said, just be open, but don't seek out another race, because it's not going to go well. You're going to go through a lot of people that may not treat you right, and then you're just going to be, you may just end up in that cycle and keep on keeping on, like, oh, I have to be with a white guy, I have to be with a black guy, but I have to be with a black girl, or, you know, white girl, doesn't matter. Like, So, and your person might not be any of those. So just keep an open mind and try to find someone who treats you right.
Yep. As always, thank you all for watching. Leave a comment and let us know if any of this advice is, if you actually took notice of any of this advice. Let us know if there's any tips that you all think we should kind of, give you all in maybe another video or talk about in another video, things like that.
And also keep on doing like video idea, like suggestions. We saw y'all wanted us to do the yoga challenge.
Yeah, we saw that y'all wanted us to do the yoga challenge. We are going to consider it.
We saw some of the thumbnails on there.
Yeah, we will look into that yoga challenge. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We want to commit to doing at least like 2 videos a week. For you all, at minimum, at least 2 videos. So that is what we're going to start pushing for.
And look for them on weekends.
Weekends, yes.
Yeah. And if you don't want to have to just look for them, just put the notification bell on there. And then you don't even have to look for it. It just pops up on your phone.
Exactly.
So you just might as well
turn on those
easy.
Post notifications and you will know as soon as we post one. Have a good day. Thank you all for watching.
Bye, y'all.